Homelessness. It's not something we talk about every day, but it's alive in our community. And today's guest is a community activist who did the unthinkable. He was homeless for 2 days, and he's here to share his experience of what that was like and what we can do as a community to really take on this issue. Hi, I'm Tina Brigley, the host of In and Out of Your Mind on We Digital. I really want to say thank you for being here, Greg Lemay. And Greg, you know, when I saw what you were doing, you know, being homeless for 2 days, I thought, that's crazy. There's no way I would ever be able to do something like that, not even for 1 day. Can you share, like, first of all, why? Why did you do that?
In the summer, I did do it for 36 hours. A lot different than doing it in the winter.
Yeah.
You know, it was just, I was sitting there watching football and I'm like, hey, I'm gonna go back out. And it wasn't supposed to be an event. It was just supposed to be me and another person. I threw it out there and a lot of people wanted to join. I didn't know if they were gonna make it the whole 48, but you know, they wanted to join. And then obviously Ron Dunn from the mission jumped on board here, and then came a poster and the trailer, and we ended up with 3,500 pounds of food.
Wow.
That we raised, and 3 skids of winter gear, and a little over $3 grand in cash over the weekend. So that all went back to the missions programs.
That's amazing.
Yeah, it was good.
So tell me, what was it really like for you to be on the streets? What was your experience? What did you encounter while you were there for 2 days?
You know, from the drugs to no sleep, I went out pretty, you know, mentally sound, and you know, I was slipping pretty quick. Like within 2 days. And you got to remember, like, that's only a small portion of kind of what goes on, right? I was supposed to, like, in my mind, I know I'm going home on Sunday, right? So that was one, you know, driving force too, right? Was that I knew I was going to go home. It seemed like every time that I was having, you know, a new mental low, or physically I was tired or something like that, somebody from the community stepped up and showed up and at least sat with me, or we'd go for a walk, and that kind of, you know, brought me back up, you know, just to continue on through the day. You got to remember, if you are homeless, you don't have that support group. So, you know, it just kind of makes me wonder what it would be like to be out even a week without any support. You know, there was drugs that came my way. Obviously, where my trailer was parked, it was a bad situation where I did put the trailer. I didn't really give it much thought in terms of, you know, this trailer's not normally there. So there was a lot of confusion in terms of the people who are actually genuinely homeless, and myself. They thought I was an undercover cop. I was scoping them out through the trailer. I had binoculars. I was trying to see who was doing drugs, kind of thing.
Right.
Obviously that caused me issues on night 1 with the crack pipe and everything else, right? But you know, I did end up sleeping under a pickup that first night. And, you know, in the morning I did discuss that with Ron, and I'm, you know, Ron, this is probably not a good situation, you know, let's move the trailer to Olette, because they had another campus there, right? The old Everest College. So I ended up moving it there the second night. And it seemed like, you know, originally I was going to have a nap myself, and, you know, fire truck pulled up next to me with lights going. It seemed like the whole time you're sleeping, you have one eye open. So you're not getting sleep. You're, you know, you're physically drained. You're mentally not there. It just seemed like it was a big struggle out there.
Yeah, like most of us really can't even fathom what this is like.
No.
You know, we see it on TV, we see homeless people. It's quick for us to judge them. You know, what's wrong with your life that you ended up on the streets? And, you know, because I think it's easier for us to judge people than to really see them as human beings.
Right.
That really, for whatever reason, it doesn't really matter, but this is their circumstance that they're living into. And I know after the experience, you know, you were still really emotional after 2 days. Like you said, I don't know what would have happened if I was out there longer. Like I probably would have cracked. Like I would have been broken. You know, so how long did it take you to actually recover after being on the streets for just 2 days?
I'm going to be honest with you, I'm still not there. I'm still seeing the social worker. She once stepped up out of the community, and basically I've been talking to her every day.
Yeah.
There's a lot of things that I haven't processed. You got to remember, what you read in the Star is only about 30% of, you know, what went on.
Absolutely.
Because you have to be, in my mind, it's a very sensitive topic. If you give too much information, are you doing more harm than good, right? So I'm kind of in a spot where, you know, I could talk this over with some people, but You
Yeah.
can't really, you don't want to create that fear mongering either, right?
Yeah.
At the end of the day, they are people. They do have a name.
Yeah.
Some of them, like I said, I interviewed probably 80 to 100 in a journal book, and just asked, simple questions like, how did you get here? Did you, what were the circumstances prior to you coming out? Did you have a mental health problem? Did you have an addiction problem? And a lot of them, they didn't have an addiction problem going out. They developed that. And for me, like I said, a couple more days, and I'm going to be honest with you there, a couple more days. I don't know. I don't know what would have happened, in terms of the drug use. I don't know.
Wow.
And I've never touched drugs in my life, so.
Because I guess, I'm a health coach, and I talk about people stuffing their emotions with food or with drugs or alcohol. And people that are homeless, that's like the bottom of the barrel. When you don't have your primary human needs met, love, safety, and belonging, that's a really, really tough spot to be in, right?
Right.
And what was your experience of the people that you talked to? Who were they?
They were like CEOs, they had jobs, there was a lot of people out there, like in terms of just communication and conversations I had with these people. There's actually a group that actually leaves the mission an hour prior to, let's say, discharge, because they leave one campus and go to the other. They actually work 40 hours in a week. They just can't afford a home.
Wow.
So they sleep at the mission. So, whether their circumstance might have been divorce and they're paying, alimony or something, right? So they actually work 40 hours, they get up at 6, they leave, there's a group of men, and they come back, and that's their home. So I think the big thing is that, like for us, we go to work, we have different people around us, and it's, similar goals and values, right? And I think that's how, we get through the day. When you look at their situation, right, they're kind of become their own little family, and it's like a little subculture. So if you have to remember, you're out there, and if you don't have that support, and the only support you have are other people experiencing the same problem, see how fast you could go down, right?
Yeah. So now I know there are people that are watching that say, I'm sorry that this is happening to people in our community, but what can I do? Like, I'm just one person. How can people really get involved and take action to really support people in our community? And I say people because homeless people are not, that doesn't define who they are. They're people first and foremost. So I know you and Natalie Burgoyne were collecting sleeping bags and stuff, but what else can people do to really help this situation, to help the cause?
I think it's so simple, right? Like, you could go out, just even saying hi, talking to them, just trying to figure out what their issues are. Getting involved with other people that are involved in, like, trying to fix the situation or trying to help the situation. It's not an overnight fix. There's obviously a lot of mental health there first, and then you got your addiction and homelessness. I think the community, at large needs to put together some type of, bigger effort to try to solve it and get other people involved in terms of your healthcare professionals, with Windsor Police. And it's not just here, right? It's everywhere. So like I said, people were focusing on it's a downtown problem. It's not. It's all the way into Tecumseh now.
Wow.
So like I've got people there telling me, listen, there's people sleeping under the slides out that way. So it's moved its way down, and it's only going to get worse if we don't figure something out.
Yeah. I really want to thank you for being here today, because we don't know what it's like. No. We're sitting on the sidelines watching people in our community struggle with their basic human needs, and like that just really touches my soul. And I really acknowledge you for going out there in the trenches and really getting to know these people for who they are, right? So thank you. And thank you for watching. If you want to get involved, I'm going to say contact Greg, because Greg is very well connected, and it's action. Awareness without action does not produce results. So let's get involved in our community, support everybody in our community. Thank you for watching In and Out of Your Mind on We Digital, and I'll see you back next Tuesday. Thanks for watching.